Okay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has joined us. Dale drives the number 88 National Guard and American Salute Diet Mountain Dew Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Dale, you about had this race here last year. Just talk about your outlook coming into Charlotte. You won the showdown last week and won one of the segments last week too in the All-Star race. So you've got to feel good about and optimistic about Sunday.
Yeah, we are. We feel pretty good about getting started this weekend. It'll be a little bit different, but variables like weather and how much rubber's on the racetrack and things like that. But we're I'm just ready to go get in the car and think we're going to go into qualifying trim today. I don't think we'll do any race runs, so we won't really know exactly what kind of race car we got till Saturday. But just ready to get the weekend going so we can get close to the race.
Thank you, Dale. Let's start right here in the middle. Raise your hand there, the young lady there in the.
Being the success that Jimmy's had lately and the success you've had all season, has it kind of started more of a rivalry between the two of you, or does finishing ahead of Jimmy mean the same as finishing ahead of any other driver?
No, me and Jimmy don't have a rivalry going. We're good teammates. I think we work really well together. I think we complement each other. The two teams complement each other quite well. They've been together for a couple of years, so there's a real great bond in that shop. It's kind of like one whole group. It's really hard to see the line between the two teams.
All right, let's go right now with Jeff Owens. Raise your hand, Jeff. Get the mic to him quick, please.
Dale, can you just sort of look back at last year's race and talk about the emotion you felt coming that close and thinking you had it and then running out of gas and what that was like? And also as a follow-up, what would it mean to you? I know you want to win anywhere you can, but it would have to be extra special to come here, kind of in your hometown.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to win at Charlotte and get me a trophy from here, being that it is close to the house. It was tough to come so close last year and not win the race. My initial reaction was that I was happy that we actually rolled across the finish line in 7th, or where I think we finished was 7th. I was more relieved that it wasn't worse than that. And then after a while, you start thinking about, we really came close to winning a race, and it's really unfortunate there just wasn't a little bit more gas in the car or whatever to get us to victory lane, because that would have been a pretty it would have been a great evening, great way to cap off a pretty good weekend. So it was a bit frustrating, over time, and but we ran good and we came here. I feel like I've said it all year long that I think we're a little bit better team than we were last year. And every time we go to the racetrack this year, I feel like, just judging on the performance of that particular track the year before, that we've been better, faster, had more speed. And I feel like I got that again this past weekend at the All-Star race. Got a good judge of how much better race team we are. So I feel like, we should come in and compete this weekend. And, if we're fortunate and do the right thing as far as pit strategy goes, to put ourselves up toward the front at the end like we did last year, we hopefully have enough fuel to get to the finish line.
Let's go Viv, then we'll go to Kelly, and then we'll go to Bob Pockers.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. Can you assess Danica's nationwide performance this year and clarify, is she going to race at all next year for you guys?
Yeah, I really don't know what her plans are next year aside from her, her deal with Tony. We haven't talked to her, don't know about her interest in running any nationwide, whether Tony wants her to or whatever. That'll all happen down the road, I guess. I think she's had a difficult season this year, and she's obviously wish she had finished better or run better. But I think she just needs to buckle down, just try to learn everything she can. She's really trying to get a 4-year degree in a short amount of time, you know, she's trying to learn a lot in just a little bit of time, and I think she just needs to concentrate on what she can learn, what she can, you know, what she can improve on, and you know, she's going to have a you know, a bigger challenge next year, and she needs to look forward to that and try to prepare herself the best she can for that.
Let's go to Kelly, then we'll go to Bob, and then Ryan McGee.
Kelly Bardick, Fox Charlotte. Back to last year and the way things finished in the 600, do you and your team kind of feel a sense of you need to come in here and take care of some unfinished business, the way things ended?
I think so. You definitely feel like one got away, or you know, when you come close to winning a race like that, you definitely think about what you might have could have done different, or if only this, or if only that. But yeah, I don't want to concentrate. You know, you don't think about that too much. You can get distracted and not really be thinking about what you're trying to do that moment. If the car is good enough and we're good enough and we do everything we need to do, we'll be right there with an opportunity to win a race, and that's what you have to concentrate on.
Let's go to Bob, Ryan, and then Lee.
About Prerace Sporting News, with it being such a long race, do you ever try to eat anything during this race? I mean, I know you got the helmet on and everything, and back in the days when you came to this race, did you ever see a driver eat something during this race that you thought, man, that's bold or crazy?
No, not really. I've never really known drivers to eat too much during the races, so that's not something that I've had done in the past. So, you know, it's just another 100 miles. It's not a big deal, and if if you prepare yourself throughout the week, you know, you should be able to get through it no problem.
Let's go Ryan, Lee, and then Claire.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. I know it wasn't a win last week, but it was kind of a win in 2 segments. Is there anything to be said about momentum going into this weekend?
I think we're just more, you know, we're confident. We know we're bringing back the same car, so we know what kind of race car we got. We know what kind of potential we got, I guess. So we're all kind of expecting to, you know, improve on some of the things we did last week. We had some things that we learned, and we think we can improve on that and even be better than we were last week. So, you know, that's Steve's job and his group's job to get together and try to squeeze a little more speed out of the car, and I'll just try to have to communicate the best I can and give them you know, all the information. We don't need to get complacent with how we ran last week. We need to try to work harder to go better and go faster.
Let's go Claire, and then to David Newton.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I'm doing a special on Memorial Day with a lot of celebrities and military generals and whatnot. What are your thoughts about Memorial Day and what it means to you, Dale?
Well, it's a great time to acknowledge what the sacrifices that the military and the personnel in the military made for us. It's a great time for them to really get some recognition and get some acknowledgement. And, you know, we're running a special paint scheme this weekend. A lot of drivers will be involved in doing programs like that. The sport itself does a great job of acknowledging and recognizing the military and its involvement in our sport has always been pretty huge. So it's always centered around Charlotte. I remember that since I was a little kid, back when Humpy was blowing up plywood tanks and all kinds of stuff. So it's always been part of this weekend, sort of, you know, schooled into your thought process about the importance of the military and the importance of, you know, recognizing them and acknowledging them and giving them due credit for their sacrifices.
Let's go Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Congratulations on your niece's wins the other night. Can you talk a little bit about how your strategy has changed over the years with the 600 since you started racing it? And also, given the fact that teams have had time to work on a closed fuel loop system, do you think it'll be as much of a fuel mileage race as it was last year?
Yeah, I really, you know, I think a lot of races are going to, you know, have a great chance. All our races have great chances of becoming a fuel mileage races because the tires are so good, and tires aren't that important anymore at a lot of these racetracks. So, you don't see as many guys coming down pit road to get 4 tires to come out and beat everybody at the end of a race. Most times at these racetracks, the tires are doing such a good job that guys are going to stay out, don't want to give up track position, because you get back in the pack with new tires, you really can't go anywhere. So if that's how the racing is, then what you do as a crew chief is your strategy is geared toward what you might see at road courses, where as soon as you get inside the pit window, you're going to come in and get the fuel. And a lot of guys, and the first guy to come in and pit has the advantage, because as it cycles around, he should be toward the front. So a lot of guys stretch it and put it right on that envelope or right on that mark, of being just a lap short or a couple laps short and counting on some caution laps to get them there. They might not be able to run a green-white checker. There's guys that are going to take gambles, and so all our races have potential to do that. So, you could see that happen. It just depends on really where and how the cautions fly. I don't, if at tracks where tires are really, really important, you don't really see that much, because guys are going to come down and get the rubber and not sacrifice the speed. But a place like this, tires really, they're just as quick when they got 30, 40 laps on them as they do when they're brand new, pretty much. And if you got 20 guys on the lead lap and you're in the top 10, man, you're not going to come down pit road, give up that track position. But if you only got 20 or 30 laps on your tires, so it's still, to me, it's not a negative or a positive. It's just, you line up cars to race, and that's how the race goes, and it's a race. That's the way it is. That's the way it ends. You can appreciate it for the strategy and the whoever plays it the best.
Dale has to get ready for practice, so we'll have to let him go. Thank you for coming
Thank
in,
you.
Dale. Good luck this weekend.